助けてほしいかナナミ。心を燃やせ。限界を超えろ。
Hello and welcome to More Than Headlines, your weekly anime news podcast powered by Audio Technica, made by Australians for global citizens. I'm your extremely humble host, Brendan White, aka the Salt and Pepper Senpai, and joining in the studio, my trusted co-host and rival, the pop step to my knuckle duster, Mrs. Courtney Smith. How the bloody hell are ya?
I am very good. I'm very tired, but good. How are you?
I'm feeling a little the same, which is kind of depressing to say because we're in the midst of a long weekend here in Australia. Like, we've got an extra day off for those that typically do work on a Monday. So, that's great. But yeah, for some reason today, I've just been very, very sluggish. I think, like, stupidly, I had my coffee and was reading outside in the sun. And I think the sun just sapped me of all of my energy this morning. So I've just been like floating around like a husk most of Sunday. But we're getting there. I'm doing okay overall, though.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I have more of an excuse than you with your sunbathing. I went to a friend's birthday brunch, but the day before I was at KaiCon and it was so fun, but I am shattered after that.
Yeah, you've been a busy social little butterfly this weekend. So hopefully after recording today, you can just have a nice quiet Sunday, catch up on your stories, and then have a nice quiet Monday, maybe like a late breakfast, sort of early lunch type of vibe. I guess they do call that a brunch, right? You could do that tomorrow and just sort of cruise through your Monday.
That's it. That's the dream.
Yeah, that is the dream. And in podcast dream form, obviously that is More Than Headlines. And we're here now for episode 33. We've got a jam-packed episode of news-based information to be sharing with you all. And then some insights on the comings and goings of sort of anime from this current winter season. It's not going to be anywhere near as in-depth as episode 32, where we unpack, 25 different anime that we're watching. This is going to be more of a sort of smaller plate worth of delicacies we're going to be chewing on. But we'll talk about ones that maybe stood out for better or for worse this past week that we've been watching. But I guess, Courtney, should we do what we always do here on MTH?
Let's do it.
You like the news?
Just made my Pepsi Max taste even better.
I am feeling a lot more awake after that, and everyone's going to be feeling a lot more awake after this news story. Kakao Entertainment have officially revealed that a live-action adaptation of Solo Leveling is in development. The South Korean production company has created successful live-action adaptations of other webtoons previously, being one of the most prominent companies in the industry.
Full disclosure, Courtney, I am the eternal optimist here on this podcast. I usually see everything glass half full, but I'm not sure how to feel about this announcement. On the one hand, I love everything that is to do with Solo Leveling, like obsessed about the manhwa, obsessed about the anime, obsessed about just the characters in the world in general, the storytelling, etc., etc. Like, it's quickly becoming a bit of an all-timer for me from like a personal favoritism standpoint. And Kakao certainly has the pedigree that can make this great, but I'm feeling quietly confident on the back of said pedigree, but I'm also not sure if we really need this, ?
Yeah, I'm with you. I do have high hopes for the adaptation because Kakao Entertainment have already proven that they're capable of adapting webtoons into live action series. I've seen a lot of negative chatter around this announcement online though, but I think most of it comes from anime fans that don't know what Kakao is or how much of an influence it has in South Korea. In saying that though, I don't think that this live action adaptation is for the anime fans. I think it's more likely for, I guess, more like normie, quotation marks, fans of the manhwa, people that don't necessarily like enjoy animation, but it's a good story. And I think it almost gives me similar vibes to All of Us Are Dead or like even Squid Game, where it can be adapted in a way where it's better for an adult audience.
I think you're very right. I just worry, I don't want to see them skimp on the budget because there is going to be so much usage of special effects with the abilities and the combat and the nightmare creatures in the dungeons, etc., etc. So I want to see them throw all of the money at this to make it as great as it could be. And like you mentioned Squid Game, which is exactly where I was going with my train of thought, because I feel like this is Netflix are probably backing up the Brinks truck saying, hey, we want to have distribution of this. Crunchyroll, like I know you've got the whole and soul on the anime, but we're going to pony up big time and then get it into more homes and into more eyes and ears. So maybe this could be more of a anime adjacent sort of spin-off success that's going to do well for the franchise holistically. But yeah, I'm just like, I'm loving the anime so much, Courtney. Like, haven't watched episode 4 yet, but I'm still just on a high from the film and then obviously the first 3 episodes of season 2.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, I think it's very much a wait and see. I don't think, there's any point getting worked up about it just yet. Like I'm seeing a lot of people do. So everyone just chill. When it gets here, we'll see what it's like. It's not for the anime fans so far.
But Courtney, that's just how the internet does and is. They are looking for anything to be filled with rage on. And Solo Leveling, the live action adaptation, is currently that. And I don't want to sound too hypocritical going from like, do we need more spin-offs? Do we need more offshoots? Because the next bit of news that we're about to talk to and then we're about to talk to collectively, I'm excited about. Like, the My Hero Academia Vigilantes TV anime will be premiering on April the 7th. So next season, we don't have to wait too long at all this year, according to the series teaser trailer. Vigilantes is a spin-off series set before the events of the main My Hero Academia story and features 3 main characters that work as vigilantes when they can't succeed as traditional heroes in society.
So I knew about this manga spin-off, but I didn't realize it would be getting an anime adaptation so soon. I hadn't read this manga or anything. I just heard of it and that was it. And then all of a sudden we're getting this anime adaptation. I'm like, wait, we haven't even gotten the final season of My Hero yet. But I'm excited. I feel like this is a really good way to continue exploring the world of My Hero Academia without overdoing it, because I don't know about other people, but for me, I find the main story is getting a bit old. I'm glad that it's ending. So I think Vigilantes could be a good way to kind of re-explore, but not go ham.
Yeah, I'm completely with you there with your thoughts and feelings. Like, I'm excited to see the conclusion of the mainline story later this year. But yeah, the timing for the release of Vigilantes is a little weird, sort of dropping it before season 8 comes to a conclusion. Like, I guess they just want to ride the hype and the momentum and just the juggernaut that is MHA, and I completely understand that. Like, in my viewing habits, when we're talking about superheroes and villains and all that, I typically lean more towards like vigilantes and anti-heroes for me, as far as like a personal favorite when it comes to characters and people that I can sort of believe in and sort of get behind more. I like when they are a little gritty and rough around the edges. So I think the potential of this is very high. I thought the trailer looked great. It looked fun. Bones is back again at the helm, obviously one of the penultimate sort of studios in the game today, and what they've done with MHA over the years is, nothing short of fantastic. Doing a bit of digging on the Vigilantes manga as well. They've got 126 chapters worth of story that they can weave through there, so we might be getting 2, 3, 4 seasons out of this potentially down the line. And our 3 leads, the Crawler, Pop Step, and Knuckle Duster, they look like a fun, unique and distinctive trio. Like, they're very stark in their aesthetic and vibe. Like, none of them are alike. They're very, very sort of contrasting to one another. And I'm excited to sort of see those characters in this story, and also the fact that it is a prequel get unpacked. Like, we don't have to wait long. Like we said, it's in April. So a couple of months away and we're going to see episode 1 drop.
I also love kind of in the key art that I was looking at, they have a much darker vibe than the mainline My Hero series. So I'm really excited to see how this, I guess, like ranges in maturity compared to the original. But our last bit of news here is that in a new announcement, Shinichiro Watanabe, who is the director of Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, his new original TV anime Lazarus will premiere in Japan in April this year. The series is being animated by MAPPA, and the announcement came with a new teaser visual.
I am so damn excited for this, Courtney. Like, the trailer and the announcement that, we've been talking about this for a little while here and there. So it's been on our radar, and knowing that it's coming out next season as well has got me just so excited and so enthusiastic, because it's feeling like it could be very much part of that Watanabe connected universe that he's sort of strongly alluded to and referenced in various interviews. Like, it would not 100% surprise me at all if at the end of this first season of Lazarus, they do say that it is revealed to be like a Cowboy Bebop prequel, because with the timelines, Lazarus is set in 2052, Cowboy Bebop starts in 2071, and the art and the art direction, it feels like a one-to-one. Like you're even seeing on that key art the same type of sort of panels that we saw in the intro to Cowboy Bebop. So I'm like, is this just coincidence, or he's just going back to the well as far as the art that he likes? I'm like, it seems like there is more afoot here, Courtney.
I'm definitely keen to see this because Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, essentially all of Watanabe's work has been original anime, and they've all been fantastic. The new teaser visual looks so slick. We have these like 5 characters with like a purple and black and white color palette, and they look so cool. The art style is very clean and simple, which I really, really like. And it's been confirmed that Watanabe will be directing every single episode. So we're in good hands here. The only thing I'm curious about is that all we know in terms of distribution and streaming in the West is that it will be airing on Toonami. So I'm not sure what that means for us in Australia.
I feel we're going to see this on Netflix. I reckon Netflix are going to throw the money down. They've just done some exclusive stuff with Ranma 1/2, tying in with MAPPA as well already. They've got Cowboy Bebop here in sort of, especially in our region, as far as the place to stream. So I feel they'd love to sort of chuck this into their ever-growing and burgeoning catalog at the moment. But yeah, it's definitely going to get a local release, I'm sure. Like, I don't think it's going to end up out of our grasp because, yeah, the pedigree and the people involved, and I think the hype behind this, screams that it's going to be somewhere big.
Yeah, definitely. But let's get into some rapid fire news now, presented by Otaku Box. So the first ones that I want to talk about are some big collabs upcoming and that have already dropped. I've just discovered today. First one is Kaiju No.8 and Fortnite collab, and the One Piece and Lego collab.
Yeah, I got wind of the Fortnite Kaiju No.8 collab earlier this week, and then courtesy of some of our fantastic friends in our Discord, dropped a message saying, hey, it's live right now. And before I finished reading that sentence, I was logging in and dropping 3,500 V-Bucks on the entire Kaiju No.8 set. So I've got all 3 of the characters' skins. So we get Kafka, we get Kikaru, and we get Reno in there, as well as an assortment of, pickaxes and backbling as well. A little surprising that there was only a 3-piece as far as the characters. Usually we see these sets with 4 characters when they're doing these collabs, and it's not as if the Kaiju No.8 cast isn't big enough. Like, especially like Mina, and you mentioned your boy not even getting a run as well. Like, I know he only sort of made an appearance late in the first season of the anime, but yeah, it was kind of strange and surprising to me that we only got the 3 characters. But hey, it is what it is, and it kind of makes sense because we've got the Godzilla sort of timed event happening in Fortnite now too, which is, just a big kaiju anyway. So it's quite kind of cool to see these people now be able to fight Godzilla in Fortnite. So it's kind of fun.
I actually wonder if they might do like a second drop of the kaiju collab, because I feel like they've done that previously in Fortnite, where they'll do an initial drop of a collab and then drop more stuff later on.
Makes sense. And like we said, there's a rich assortment of characters we can sort of fold into this world as well. So yeah, maybe we get a second drop maybe when season 2 comes out later this year.
But what's your bit of rapid fire news, Brendan?
Yeah, so my bit of rapid fire news, Courtney, we're going to have another episode of More Than Hentai dropping this past week. We're going to be diving deep on the fantastic romance sport anime that is Blue Box. Super excited to bring that one out because, we've been ranting and raving just how great this anime is so far. And I'm going to be ranting and raving just about how great it is after the latest episode as well later in what we've been doing and watching.
Yes, I recently watched the newest episode and I'm so excited to talk about it. So let's get into it. Let's talk about what we've been watching this week. I caught up with most things. I'm pretty on top of all of it, but my standouts for this week were Medalist episode 3. So I'm so glad you put me onto this show, Brendan. We see some really important things this episode. We meet Miketa, or Mittens, who's very, very cute and very, very bossy, aka me-coded.
She's a wild little thing. She's
Yes.
great, but she is a little hurricane on skates.
And I love it. She go off, queen. You get him. We also get to see the most important part of this episode, which is Tsukasa sensei takes off his jacket to skate, and he is ripped. Like, Brendan has a word that he uses to describe hot characters all the time. And I'm going to whip this one out here. He is a smoke show. Like, as soon as I could not believe, I had to pause the show, take a screenshot, send it to the Discord, and be like, everyone, oh my God, stop, look at this. Look, like, I put it on my Instagram story. That's how hot he is.
He is a good looking rooster, and yeah, he is a smoke show. And I love too that they combine that hotness and yokedness of Tsukasa with his wholesomeness and his heart, because all he wants to do is, he obviously his dream is sort of fleeting and pretty well past him now. So he's doing what he can to now inspire these young kids to chase their dreams and achieve their goals. And it's just so heartfelt, this anime, and it's gorgeously animated and it's fun. And yeah, it does well up the eyes with sort of the happy tears at these big moments, like when they're training for this big competition. And I enjoy that we're getting incremental time jumps in this episode too, leading up to the competition. Like, we're not putting this whole first season focusing on this first comp, which I was worried they were going to do, but instead it was like 40 days away, 21 days away, 10 days away. So I like that we get these jumps and we see the progression and the story development and the character development. And then, like, when he sort of has that light bulb moment about how to train her, and then you watch that translate to the movements and the jumps and things on the ice. It's so good. It's so good. I love this anime, and it is still firmly in my top 5.
Yep, really enjoying it. Something else I'm really enjoying, Flower and Asura. We just had episode 3 drop. It was so sweet. Have you watched this episode, Brendan?
I haven't yet, so I'm just going to live through you for now.
All
but
right,
you can spoil
okay.
and talk however you want to, because I'm going to cop it after this.
Honestly, the best part of this episode, and the part that I want to highlight, which isn't so much of a spoiler, but Mizuki invites Hana to stay over at her house, and Hana is really just like in her head about everything. She's really anxious. She's, not feeling quite like she's good enough to be in the broadcasting club and want to do broadcasting, because they're talking about the NHK Cup and competition, and she's really having a time. And Mizuki's suggestion is like, let's go and relax. And they kind of paint it as like they're going into the bathroom together. They're like taking off their socks. And then you look in and they're having a foot bath together. And Mizuki's like, this is what I do to relax. It's really nice. And they just have this great chat. And it's so wholesome and heartwarming. And Brendan, you're going to love it.
Yeah, I know my emotions are going to overflow like a heavily drawn foot bath, I'm sure. So I'm looking forward to checking it out, because yeah, those first 2 episodes just resonated with me so much. And I just love that this anime is so much about those quieter moments. So I'm excited hearing your thoughts after episode 3 to experience it myself later. And also shout out to a foot bath. Like, I don't have them very often, but there is something soothing and relaxing about that. Obviously, if you're in some of the Asian countries that do the fish in there, maybe avoid that, because that ain't relaxing. It's nice for the novelty and I guess the cleanliness of it, but just a genuine normal foot bath, hell to the yeah.
Yes, very wholesome, very nice. But Brendan, what have you been watching?
Okay, so yeah, I've mostly caught up on that big list that we sort of went through last week, but there is a few notable absentees, like I just mentioned with Flower and Asura, that I'll catch up on in the next couple of days. So I've just sort of cherry picked a couple that I wanted to mention. The first one, episode 40 of Shangri-La Frontier. Short version, as far as my 5 pillars of ranking, like, it is amaze, Courtney. It is so good. It's the follow-on from the battle with Lycagon that was just also some of the best anime that I've seen in the last 12 months. Like, the animation, I don't know if you've seen some of the social shares with some of the clips from this battle. Holy shit. It is gorgeous and so honestly, impactful.
It makes me sad that I haven't watched it yet. That's all I'll say.
Please do.
I'll get there.
Yeah, you've got Attack on Titan to watch before that first, though. So, but we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, episode 40, overall, it was fantastic. We sort of saw our heroes catch a breath a little bit in this episode after such a big sort of multi-episode arc with that battle playing out. So now they're starting to plan the next steps of their adventure. We do get introduced to some of the other broader characters that are going to become the sort of main ensemble now. And the cool thing is now we're going to be shifting off land out to the ocean in this next arc to sort of, explore the Shangri-La frontier game a little bit more and, try and fight some of these sort of mythical bosses. So I'm super excited to see where that goes, because they've already alluded to that, this boss is like a kraken. It is some type of mythical sea beast. So that's going to be cool to try and work out how that dynamic is going to change with the battle itself. But also, the sooner that Sunraku and Rei can become some type of ship status as far as relationship, the better. But I love their cute awkwardness / Sunraku's complete aloofness to that being Rei, but she just takes everything he says to her straight to heart and as gospel. It is so sweet and cute and funny. And then you combine that with just mind-blowing action and animation that'll just knock your socks off. Like Shangri-La Frontier.
I'll get on it. I promise.
I know. I have faith. You'll get there one day. Like we mentioned in an earlier episode, you've got sort of a 10-year, 1-decade window to try and catch up. So time is on your side, Courtney. The next one I want to highlight, we talked about this very briefly before we hit record, and this is sort of in the good to great, maybe at best category for me right now. I copped episode 3 of Honey Lemon Soda. Uka, she is such an awkward, adorable little doofus, and I still can't help but root for her overall. And she's starting to come out of her shell more and more and sort of find herself and become this strong little independent woman that we hope that she can be. She's still very much a newborn baby in this world. But this episode and this anime, it feels just like it's stuck in second gear. And I'm struggling to really care and get really invested. And even at the end of episode 3, it does end on, in parentheses, a cliffhanger because they're lost on a path out in camp. It's how can you be lost? Just turn around and walk back down the fucking path you're on. I don't understand. It's not rocket science. But anyway, they tried to add some higher stakes drama to this. But yeah, I'm just struggling to care or be invested the way I want to be with this.
Okay, the thing about this latest episode that made me crack up is they get lost because there's a sign that says go this way, and it looks like someone's glued a piece of paper over the sign to trick them. And I'm like, what is this Warner Brothers old cartoon prank? Has the Roadrunner been here? What is happening?
We find out that the two nasty girls and the nasty boys are Wile E. Coyote up ahead with a box of TNT and stuff like that. But yeah, so that felt very out of place, but I'm just struggling with it. Hey, and I don't know what it is too, but when they do the full side profiles on these characters, the animation really takes a dive for me, and it gives me the ick a little bit too.
Yeah, I feel like their faces, they have the classic shoujo manga face, which is fine, but it doesn't translate as well to anime. So it really, with these anime, you need it to either have a really solid story where you can look past the flaws of the animation and the stylization, or they need to fix up the animation and stylization to kind of give the story more room to breathe. Unfortunately, this is just a kind of combo of boring story, not so great animation and character design, and it turns you off a lot, I think.
It really does. I feel if this is going to be sort of the high mark or the consistency we're going to get episode to episode, this is going to fall out of my top 10 very quick. Yeah. But I'll keep watching it because I love, and I'm hopeful for Uka and Kai to, I don't know, knock my romantic socks off in some way. But right now, it's just a couple of bumbling idiots now lost out in the forest on a path that they just walk down. Like I said, turn 180 and go back the other way and to the sign and then turn left instead of going right. But anyway, it's big stakes in Honey Lemon Soda, apparently. I'm going to jump to My Happy Marriage now. Episode 3, best episode of this young season so far, I feel. We're getting solid story progression. We've got some good drama, some good action, some good demon slaying and some ability usage. So we're seeing some magic. But the way the episode ended, where we have that tough love from Mama Kudo again, where I still hate her guts, but it does sort of end nicely where she's sort of giving Mio some respect after she uses her ability to save one of sort of the townsfolk's life from sort of, I guess, turning into a demon himself. And then also when her and Kudo are out on the balcony of an evening, gorgeously animated this entire scene, by the way, but he leans in and gives her a big old smoochy smooch. My heart just went, and I'm like, okay, there's, I don't want to say the money shot, but there's like the hero moment, there's that heartfelt moment, there's that fist bump moment, and it made me feel so good and really sort of rekindled a lot of like mixed feelings I was having after the first 2 episodes of My Happy Marriage season 2.
Yeah, it was really, really sweet. I'm realizing with My Happy Marriage, and I don't know if anyone else is feeling this way, but I almost wish this is the only anime that I almost wish they had dropped all of the episodes for the season and it wasn't a weekly release. And I don't know why, but I just feel like I would rather binge this show than watch it weekly.
That's fair, actually. And that way they could still have their big weekly drop being Sakamoto Days on Netflix. They just did an all-in-one drop with Castlevania Nocturne Season 2, so why couldn't they have done it with My Happy Marriage Season 2? But I'm excited for this progression that's happened in episode 3, and I hope they can build on it from there, because the first 2 episodes did get a bit bogged down. But seeing the power couple start to realize that, you know, they can stand on level footing beside each other, and her getting the acknowledgement and the acceptance and the praise from old Mama Kudo, I'm like, okay, you frosty bitch. I respect it, but I still hate your guts, and I'm still here for it.
Yeah, I like that his mum, everyone in the family knows what she's like, and everyone in the house knows what she's like, and they kind of tiptoe around her, but at the same time, his dad is like, you know, he knows how to handle her, and I really like seeing that dynamic between Mio and his dad. Yeah,
and shout out to his dad being just a badass, like frost dealing magic expert, just casually coming in and taking out some members of this demon-based cult that's sort of starting to sort of do the rounds around the place. So yeah, I'm excited for where this could go. Circling back to what we mentioned sort of earlier on as far as in the rapid fire, episode 16 of Blue Box dropped this over the weekend as well. Episode 16 is called Unfair Woman. I really, really enjoyed the follow-on. Like episode 15, we didn't talk about it, but that was Chi's birthday. And so her and Taiki have a little cute like getaway where he takes her to the beach and, you know, gets her a cake. And they have some really, really sweet moments. And it was one of my favorite episodes of the season because it was a bit of a quieter episode overall. But this episode was cool because it was a bit of a reflective one where we're getting a good mix of airtime with our sort of 4 main characters. We see Chi having to move out temporarily due to an illness in the family, which then pretty much causes Taiki to spiral on some words that Chi said, where she's like, you know what, all you need to do is just skip a year so we can, you know, be in class all the time together and sit beside each other and rah, rah, rah. So he's like in his head coming up with a million ideas on how he can progress quicker in school to be with Chi. And it's adorable. And it's just, you know, young, dumb love, which I can appreciate. We also see that Kyo is very handy with a sewing machine, and we find out that, you know, because he's the big brother at home, he's constantly repairing his siblings' clothes and stuff like that, which was a cute moment. We also find out that you know, he was in love once, but obviously that wasn't reciprocated. And in the sort of last parts of this episode before it ends, we find out in this episode that, you know, Hina is cast to play Snow White in their sort of play. She's running like a maid cafe for the second years. And so we're finding out that's going to play a big part in future episodes. But she also then drops a pretty big bomb on Chi when they meet in sort of one of the office rooms to do some photocopying. And she's like, oh, by the way, Chinatsu, I told Taiki that I like him. What's up, bitch? And then episode ends. So I was like, whoa, big drama, big tea. But I love this world so much.
I will say this episode, I think, has been my favorite episode of Blue Box so far. It was really, really strong. Yeah, seeing Taiki just like lose his mind because Chi moved out. I'm like, bro, it's not that serious.
Yeah, she's moved like 2 suburbs away.
Literally, like you were living with your crush. What? I loved seeing Kyo interact with Hina more. I love those two as a pairing, and I really, really hope something happens with them. I was like, oh my gosh, is his like last crush? Is it Hina? Like, what's going on? I'm like sleuthing with like, you know, a big like map in my bedroom. Like, okay, so if Kyo loves Hina, but you know, all of the shipping, obsessed with that. I also liked, there's a scene where Chi is watching a drama on TV and her mum walks in and kind of watches it with her for a bit. And the drama on the TV is like a romance thing and the girls are arguing. And the mum goes, yeah, it's like really rude to, you know, not confess to someone and like make things up and make people wait and lead people on. And then she is sitting there like, oh God, I am a bad person. And it's like, yes, you are. Just sort your shit out. Like, she knows how she feels. She just is too much of a wuss to admit it. And my inner self is like, just tell him.
It's so good. And it just does end that episode so perfectly on that little cliffhanger, because it's like, is this the push that she needs to finally confess to Taiki, or will this make her sort of retreat further back? Because a lot of the time in this episode and previous episodes, she's reflecting about, yeah, like, are Hina and Taiki a thing? Like, does Taiki have feelings for Hina? I saw him at the fireworks festival. They're childhood friends. Like, in her mind, she's almost processing and accepting that they're going to be a couple. And so she puts her feelings aside and lets that play out. But yeah, will this sort of push or pull her away as far as Hina stepping up? Hina's probably my favorite, even though I'm fully up to date on the manga, so I know where this story goes hypothetically. But I still find Hina to be my favorite character throughout this whole journey, because she's just fun and cheeky. And yeah, she puts her heart on the line. Like, she don't hold back. Like, she knew that her crush in Taiki was crushing hard on Chi, but she's like, you know what, I got to be truthful with my feelings here, and goes, yo, Taiki, I like you. What's up? Like, how are you going to react to that? Like, and that says a lot about a person, I think.
And I really respect that from her, because it does mean, like, you know, obviously he didn't respond straight away with the I like you back. So all right, life advice for the girls. If you confess and he doesn't say yes, it's a no. Like, just move on. He's not worth your time. So in my head, I'm thinking, Hina, like, go, like, cycle through these feelings, get these feelings out, and then fall in love with Kyo and make me happy. Okay?
And life advice for the girls and the guys from a guy's perspective, Courtney is very correct. Like, don't disrespect a person's time. Like, if they're putting their heart on the line, their thoughts on the line, their feelings, whether this be love, work, or life related, like, if you know in that moment how you're feeling, say how you're feeling then. Like, don't hope, oh, I'm going to sleep on it for a day or a week, it'll change, because you're being untruthful to yourself, to them, and wasting that collective group's time at the same time. So yeah, just step up and, you know, speak your truth.
Yes, and Hina and Kyo, please, for my mental health. I need those two to be together.
I'm not going to say anything, but I'm just excited for future episodes, because we get an increase in the cast, we get new people introduced, and the story goes some pretty cool places.
I'm excited. Something
else that I'm excited about is to do our week by week deep dive. People tuning in for the first time here on More Than Headlines, we have sort of picked an anime each season. We're going to be sort of deep diving in a bit more of a narrow lens and unpacking it episode by episode, week by week here on the podcast. And that chosen anime for us this season is Sakamoto Days. So we're going to be unpacking everything that went down in episode 3. Did you want to lead us off, or do you want me to start this thing off, Courtney?
I'm happy to lead. I was watching on the train home from my friend's birthday lunch, and I was just so engrossed, I almost missed my stop. We get a new cast member, Nagumo, who's introduced. I love the beginning of this episode because Nagumo comes in and he's, well, we don't know, but he's Sakamoto. There's 2 Sakamotos. That's how we start this episode, which is so fun and so funny. He's like talking, and Shin is like, this is not Sakamoto. Like, he knows. And then the real Sakamoto walks in, and they're kind of like eyeing each other off, like, who the hell are you? And it's really good. Sakamoto sits down. Well, one of them does. And then they both pull out a weapon, and this is where you can tell who the real and the fake one is, because one of them pulls out like a box cutter, those little like up and down knife blades, and then the other one pulls out a gun. So you can tell.
Yeah, there's a stark contrast here between the two, but it is an interesting open, because we're seeing Shin and Lu sort of double take for a minute, because they're like, what? Mr. Sakamoto, you're actually talking to us now. And like, he's got such an imposing voice as well. Like the voice work for Sakamoto is fantastically done, whether it be spoken or thought-based when Shin is reading his thoughts, as we sort of see later on in this episode. But it's a fun start. It's a silly start. My biggest takeaway from this start as well, apart from that little interaction there with the dueling Sakamotos, Lewis gets to work. She gets to work 2 hours late, and yet they still hadn't opened yet. So I'm like, how early do you want these convenience store staff members to be there to set up before work? Like, what kind of slave ship are you driving here, Sakamotos? Like, that was a bit of a red flag for me. Like, if I need to be at work 2 hours early, what's going on there? Especially, 800 yen an hour or whatever the rates are. Like, I'm hoping I'm getting that overtime rate you mentioned in episode 1 there, Sakamoto. But yeah, it's cool. We get introduced to Nagamo, who in the English dub is actually voiced by our friend Alex Lee. So shout out to him putting in work here and popping up in another monstrous anime-based franchise. But yeah, we find out as well that Nagamo and Sakamoto work together in Sakamoto's former hitman way of living and whatnot. And he sort of come as, I guess, as a friend and as a courtesy and sort of said, just FYI, the association has placed a $1 billion bounty on your head and it officially goes live tomorrow. So just get ready because the hitmen are coming. And we don't have to wait long because within like 2 minutes later, a pizza delivery guy arrives and we find out this is going to be the first of many like themed-based assassins that are sort of going to be doing the rounds here on Sakamoto Days. So Pizza Nakajima, as he calls himself, rolls in. So many pizza-based puns, but also his weapons of choice are obviously razor-sharp pizza cutters, which, I'm here for. I love pizza. I love silly slapstick nonsense, and that's what this is. And it was just a fun little tone setter, this little exchange. He's dealt with like that. He's done. But during this sort of exchange as well, I love that Lou and Sakamoto are just casually eating the pizza, even though there's an assassin here to kill him. Like the comedic timing in this anime and in this manga is just so well done, Courtney.
I honestly loved this pizza scene. It was so funny because, like, first of all, like you said, what time is this place opening that they have to show up for work like 2 hours earlier? Also, who's ordering pizza at like what I'm assuming is like maybe 10 o'clock in the morning? We
don't judge pizza fans around here, right, Courtney? If I could have pizza at 10, I'm having pizza at 10.
Look, fair, very fair. So yeah, he comes in and he's like, yeah, delivery. And like, it's sus, but like, of course, Sakamoto doesn't say anything because he's like, yeah, I'll have some pizza. Like, and here's the thing, he's so confident in his abilities that he's like, I'll have the pizza and eat it too. Like literally, he's gonna deal with this assassin and enjoy the pizza. So yeah, he gets we've got those pizza cutters, and then Shin kind of deals with him, which is great. I'm like, does Shin deal with him? I don't know. It's wild. They deal with the pizza. Then the pizza box is standing up, right? And there's a camera in it, and the organization are like looking at Sakamoto like, oh my God, we underestimated this guy. Like, even though he's fat, like, he's really, really tough and really strong. Sakamoto, this had me flustered. He turns to the camera, points the gun at it, and it's like, if you keep stalking me, I'm gonna show you hell. And I was like, you can show me hell. Just beautiful.
I'm sure the people on the train were sort of raising an eyebrow at you getting all hot and flustered on the train ride home, watching that play out. They probably wanted to know what the heck you were checking out as well, because yeah, it was a cold scene, but it was, like you said, it was cold, but also like, oh boy, this guy does not muck around. He is a bad SOB. And the people around this boardroom, the groupings of dastardly assassins around there, you can see a few of them sort of quiver after that as well. So, yeah, we jump from that, and so we sort of start to shift into the back end of this third episode, and we find out that Sakamoto completely forgot that he promised Awe and Hana that they were going to go to one of the local theme parks. It's called Sugar Park. So they all head off to the theme park. Lou and Shin go along as well, and I do enjoy that we see the stark contrast with our cast here, where Shin, Awe, and Hana are loving the rides, but Lou and Sakamoto are doing the best they can not to chunder everywhere. are you a theme park girly? Do you like crazy, big, intense rides?
I love to go to a theme park for the food and like the walking around and maybe a souvenir. I'm not a rides girly because I'm the kind of person that will throw up. But I will say the roller coaster that they were on looked terrifying.
Yeah, some of these rides, like I can jump on them and appreciate them, but I can't like go back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
Because I have vomited a few times, like not on the ride yet, thank God, touching wood. But like moments after getting off it, I've done a big old chunder, like just getting down the stairs onto the grass or something. Because yeah, some of those rides and what they do to your insides, it is not a good time. So shout out to the sort of theme park sickos that are sort of immune to that type of G-force thrown around their insides the way they do. But yeah, in between the rides, we're then introduced to yet another themed-based assassin, the cleaner assassin, who is masquerading as like a theme park cleaner. He's got his cart full of all his cleaning products and whatnot, and he has some vicious bleach that he's going to do some damage with. But Sakamoto just one-shots this guy, and I love in the scene straight, like the direct sort of flow on from that one shot. We see Shin and Lu run in, grab him in this cart, and then just whisk him away before Awe and Hana can sort of see what's going on.
And they have this really great setup, right? Like, you know, we know that Sakamoto's forgotten. He's like, all right, I've just learned about this bounty. I've learned a bunch of guys are after me, but I have to, you know, be the best dad I can be and be the best husband I can be. And he kind of ropes Shin and Lu into this, like, plan, I guess, where basically they're staying like 30 meters back. Shin's reading the minds. Lu's there for support. Basically, they tell Sakamoto when someone has this murderous intent. Sakamoto's like on the comms, like, okay, cool, got it. Deals with them, and then it's like, all right, cleaning crew, come and dispose of the body.
It's so good, and like he stabs this guy right in the chest with a pen. Again, I'm like, that feels like a kill shot to me, but you know what? Shin explains it. He's like, oh my God, that missed like every artery and every organ somehow, because I guess he's just that good a guy. But you know, yeah, so he still hasn't broken the Sakamoto family code. I don't know what they do with these bodies after, like, once they've whisked it away. Does that mean like, no, because now they're part of the family. Shin and Lu can't kill them either. So I guess they just tie them up and leave them in the woods. Like
some child finds his cleaner's like body.
Yeah.
Just lying somewhere in the park.
Which is scary to think about. And circling back to the start of this episode, just tying in sort of discussions around death and bodies, I loved because, yeah, Lu rocks up to work 2 hours late and Shin's like, have you ever had a job before? And she's like, yeah, I did when I was young. Like, I had my former job. I used to work with my dad and I'd bury mysterious burlap sacks. And it was like, so she was burying the dead bodies of all her dad's victims. And that part made me cackle.
Yeah, right? Like, she's like, yeah, I've totally had a job. And it's like, yeah, cutting to a hole in the ground where she's chucking in bodies. She's like, there's probably some like goop in there. I don't know. I didn't look.
So
but then it's so good. But then we go to, so they beat the janitor. Then Hana's like, I want to go on this roller coaster, and they all hop on. So we've got Shin, Lu. They go on to, do they go on the roller coaster first or after?
They go on the roller coaster at the end, and because so we're stealthily introduced to another assassin called Tatsu.
Yeah.
But he's learnt that he's like, oh, as long as I can hide my murderous intent, Shin and no one else will know I'm here. So he's sort of in and around everybody's periphery, just existing, and we find out he's a poison user and he's actually on the roller coaster with the family a couple of rows back. And yeah, Shin can't detect him, but Lu's like, guy kind of looks pretty sus. I don't think we got to keep our eyes on this silver-haired guy that looks almost like Frankenstein because he's got like stitch and scar work all over his body.
And literally they're on the roller coaster and Lu's like, hey, that guy looks suspicious. And she's like, you can't say that. Don't judge a book by its cover. And he like looks back and he's like, and Shin looks at him and he's like, oh. Yeah. And they realize that he is in fact a hitman. He has a very, very cool character design. I really, really like it. It's pretty hot, honestly, not gonna lie.
Silverhead, angsty baddie, of course.
So Shin is like, all right, shit, I gotta do something. He lets Sakamoto know. Sakamoto's like, I can't do much. And Shin's like, that's all right, I got it. He gets like a gun which has a silencer and shoots off his protective like harness on the roller coaster. Brings up Lou's like, what are you doing? We're about to go off this like huge like roller coaster like ride. What are you doing? And he's like, don't worry, I got it. And he like runs up, shoots the other guy's safety harness and is like, all right, let's fight. And Lou's like, we're going through a loop-de-loop.
It's such a crazy scene, and they have a really cool exchange on the roller coaster tracks themselves. We see that Tatsu, he's using these little kunai and he's laced them with poison, and Shin isn't able to sort of avoid them all and gets sort of sliced across the leg, which then starts leading to him, I guess, becoming blind and his vision starting to get impaired. But they have a cool back and forth on the tracks. It was weird because the roller coaster went for like a second lap across the tracks, which is something I guess you never really, like I've never seen in roller coasters. Usually you go from one end to the next and that's it, but maybe things are done differently in Japan in the theme parks. So that was like a little plot hole where I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But anyway, they have the battle on the roller coaster. They end up sort of smashing into each other a few times on and around the tracks, and they fall like, it feels like 100 meters. They fall from the top of this roller coaster track all the way through like a big top and land in the middle of a sort of theatrical event that's happening. Like you see like a stage play in where we see Sugar the Rabbit and some random Red Power Ranger guy doing battle with the baddie. And in this moment, we don't know at the time, but Shin somehow like gets the guy out of the Sugar the Rabbit costume, gets him out of there. He's now in the Sugar the Rabbit costume. Tatsu's there and he sort of threatens the fake baddie. He's like, you got to get out of here, otherwise I'm going to kill you. And so the people in the crowd have no idea that now this is a real fight for life here. They think it's all part of the performance at Sugar Park. Shin can't see. We've got Tatsu playing the bad guy. We've got Awe and Hana in the crowd like cheering on and loving life and eating their snacks and having the best little time. But the fight that plays out is so cool and so well choreographed and animated. And I love that they explain how this is happening because, Shin can't see, he can't read this guy's thoughts, but because he can read Sakamoto's thoughts, him and Sakamoto have got like that mental telepathic link from sort of the crowd onto the stage, and Sakamoto's going, all right, like, left hook, right jab, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, lunge. And so he's like stepping him through this battle, and he kicks Tatsu's ass effortlessly just from like the thoughts of Sakamoto. And I think it's a really cool scene, and it's like exclamation pointed at the end where he delivers this massive big missile drop kick to knock him out. And it really, I think, saved this first episode. Like, it was such a really strong ending for me.
And I loved the announcer who was at the theatrical show. She's kind of explaining what's going on. And she goes, wow, it's so realistic. Look at that. Right jab. And like you can see Tatsu is like physically struggling. He like spits out some blood, gets back up. Then Shin goes back in and she goes, wow, bunny rabbit uppercut. And I'm just losing my mind. I was like, this is great. But honestly, the coolest thing about this show, what I really, really love, is the use of slow motion. And I know a lot of people are saying they don't like it. I really like it as someone who gets quite bored watching these action scenes. The slow motion makes me really appreciate how slick they are and really what goes into it. So the combination of the slow-mo like vibes, seeing these like close-up punches and kicks, and the music that they pair as the backing track of these fight scenes is just so cool. It gives me goosebumps every time.
It's really, really well combined, like that use of music and combat and then slowing it down. Like they don't do it to the extent that Hollywood seems to do it now, where every hit is done in slow-mo for some goddamn reason. Like they only do it on those big impactful moments, which then make those big impactful moments feel bigger and more impactful. So it's really, really well done. And the fight is cool. The use of sound is cool. The use of subtle violence in this episode, like, yes, we still do see some bloodshed and some poison. And I had to laugh because seeing Shin, when his eyes start to go like full poison mode, it made me think of Towley from South Park all the time for some reason. I'm like, man, like what was in that poison? Like, is he like Dutch ovening in Sugar the Bunny suit right now? Like, because he looked blazed off his little head. But it was just cracking me up so much. And then Also, like when Hana realizes that Sakamoto's having a good time, she's like, Dad's loving it. He's just a little kid, and like having her best little life too. Like, it's just a cool contrast of like adult violence and death and risk, and then like childhood glee. And I think that's what this anime does really well.
And I think this third episode has really drawn in the crowd that was skeptical at first. The people that weren't manga readers but had heard a lot about it, and they came into it and they were disappointed by the animation, which I still disagree with, but I think this episode, it's really hooked a lot of them. And if they aren't hooked yet, then I definitely think it's a matter of they will come back to this in a few years' time once they've watched more anime, learn to appreciate varied art styles, and then they will enjoy it more, because this episode was fantastic.
Yeah, it was a banger. I really enjoyed it. Like, I think it was pretty complete from front to back, and we got a good blend of humor and laughs and drama and violence and absurdity and really cool choreographed action set pieces. So it just showed everything that makes Sakamoto Days, and I'm here for it.
Yes, and I haven't been reading anything new. I'm still chugging along with Bug Ego and Dr. Stone, but what have you been reading, Brendan?
So I am now fully caught up on The Beginning After the End. 204 chapters now in the can. I love this world. It is such fantastic high fantasy fun, and if they can adapt these panels to screen the way I hope it will, like I feel it could be yet another sort of potential sleeper banger from sort of the Korean world, which I'm excited for. But the more I read of this manhwa this week, the more I realized that I've got such a soft spot and such a sort of blind spot at the same time for sort of light-haired elf-based women. So if they've got blonde hair, silver hair, any type of that, I've realized that that's one of my kryptonites, Courtney, and I'm not ashamed about that. I will own it. If there is any light-haired elf-based women out there that are looking for a 30-something man with a stable job and a heart of gold, you know where to find me on the socials. But yeah, The Beginning After the End, so good.
I will say, I'm glad you've come around to the Silverhaired characters. I have been a huge fan of Silverhaired characters for a very long time, and I'm glad you're finally on the train with me. I
feel there has been some not so subtle influencing going on, just being around you and hearing your lust for the silver-haired folk. And yeah, now that lust has sort of passed itself on to me here. But the other one that I wanted to highlight, because I have been reading many a thing, but I've also started reading The Spark in Your Eyes, another manhwa, medieval period piece drama with a sprinkling of potential romance down the line. Maybe, maybe not. I'm at chapter 85 on this one already this week. Again, like this manhwa was probably the reason why I haven't watched a few of the other episodes from this seasonal weekly drop, because I'm just so engrossed in this world. It's based around a couple of key characters. So Erkin, he is a pharmacist from the north, and like leading up to that, like there was a big national-based conflict where the North and the South went to war, and you know the South hate the North because the North are just vicious killers, rah rah rah. But Erkin, sweet guy, big dark-haired, blue-eyed fella, like he's a handsome boy, and so he's sort of lost his parents due to the war, ends up moving down to the South and helping out in a small village at a general store. But due to his sort of pharmacist and medical-based skills, then we find out that the master of sort of the castle in the area is sort of chronically ill, and they're trying to work out who can fix this person. And so Erkin gets tasked to go up there, concocts a little bit of a medicine to sort of keep this ailment at bay. But little does he know, the master of the castle is known as the Witch of the Sun, which was sort of like this mage-based child prodigy that swung the war for the South. Like she's sort of got this gods-based power. She's immortal. She can like shoot fire and light out of her sort of person. She's adept at swordplay. So she's like this sort of notorious goddess that's known out there, but no one's ever really seen her face. She always sort of battled with a helmet on and stuff. So everyone's like, who is this Witch of the Sun? And little does he know, she's right under his roof, because I mentioned his parents getting murdered. They allegedly got murdered by the Witch of the Sun. So he's trying to sort of find her to deal with that. Yet they've now become friends, because outside of the castle, she sort of dons some servant gear and goes by the name Kaya. And so they strike up a friendship and potential feelings between the two. But in his mind, he wants to meet the king and meet the Witch of the Sun to do, we still don't know what. Is it vengeance? Does he want to kill them? Where she's starting to realize that she's just a pawn for this king and is starting to be very remorseful for everything she's done. So I'm loving that we've got this potential vengeance-based plot as well as a potential sprinkling of love between the two. The art and the story is done by Muro, and it is just really, really well done. And I'm vibing with it hard, Courtney.
I'm just having a look now at some of the art from the series. And once again, manhwa artists, they just always get it right. It's always gorgeous. It's always this beautiful digital, clean lines art that I really, really love. And I'm excited to hear more about this one.
It's so good. And like Kaya or the Witch of the Sun, like her eyes, like you're talking about the animation, her eyes just, they draw you immediately. The second you see her on the page, her eyes are just so unique. It reminds me a little bit of Makima from Chainsaw Man, similar type of eyes and similar type of magnetism with them. But yeah, it's so good. I think there's 125 chapters available at the moment. So I'd say by episode 34, I'm going to be up to date, and then being very sad that I'm yet again caught up with nothing new to read. But yeah, that's what I've been reading and watching, Courtney. It's been a big week.
Yeah, but I see we have a little gift.
A little something that we call...
Yeah. 今週のレビュー. It's so good.
And this review of the week comes via way of Apple Podcasts from Apple Podcast user Oreo Fluffy McPants 65 over in the United States of America. And the podcast headlines reads, amazing podcast. This is just a phenomenal podcast about anime. I love the discussions and have learned so much about different types of anime and now have so many more to add to my watch list. 5 stars.
Oreo Fluffy McPants 65, we are so glad that we could add to your plan to watch list, and we hope that, you know, in a few months' time you can come back and let us know what your favorites are.
100%. And shout out to one of my favorite usernames I've personally ever seen. I love Oreos, I love Fluffy McPants, and the 65 is a great number. So it all comes together to create magic. But yeah, listeners, viewers, Segoy Squad, if you wanted to send us in a review, you can do so over on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Sadly, the algorithm only accepts 5-star reviews for some reason. Sorry, we don't make the rules. But yeah, if you wanted to rate and review us as well as all the other podcasts you listen to, that would mean the world to content creators like ourselves. But Courtney, any final comments or thoughts you wanted to share before we get on out of here for another week?
Yes, so I mentioned that I went to Sydney Kaiju Convention, the Twilight Artist Alley Markets yesterday. It was so much fun. I went and I cosplayed as Momo from Dandaran. I saw some Okaruns, which is really, really cool. I saw some other Momos, which is even cooler. Everyone looked great. The art that was available was amazing, super high quality. I bought quite a few things. I'll only show a few of them. I bought some Love and Deep Space fan art, which if you're watching, you'll be able to see Zane is my favorite. I also got some Chikawa fan art because, of course, I had to. So cute.
You got some Chikawa sticker sets too, right?
Yeah. It's Chikawa on the toilet, which... was great. As soon as I saw this sticker sheet, I knew I had to have it. I love Chikawa on the toilet. And I got some cute Dandaran keychains here. This Okarun one is my absolute favorite. My husband.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, it was great.
It looked like you had such a good time. Like it's luckily running in Melbourne, I think in 2 weeks' time. So I'll head along there too. I'm not going to be cosplaying, but I am going to probably be copying far too much art, but I have zero regrets about doing that. I wanted to also mention that this is the last week that you can get your votes in for the 2024 Hennies, because next episode 34, is going to be primarily focused on announcing and rewarding all those fantastic winners that were wholly and solely decided by you guys out there. So you've still got a little week or just under or just around a week's time to get those votes in. And doing so will put you in the draw to win a share of over $2,000 worth of prizes from our friends at Audio-Technica, also us, as well as the Otaku Box, as well as Ice Tea Aesthetics. So Get your votes in. It's going to take you 60 seconds. sakurasociety.co/vote to do so. And we might be calling your name and saying, congratulations, you've won some fantastic swag.
And speaking of winning, we have drawn and contacted the winner of our Oshinoko tickets competition that we ran on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for joining, tagging us, tagging Sugoi Co, and tagging your friends, sharing it. We got so many people that are super keen to see this movie, and we'll be seeing it this week as well. So make sure you get into the cinemas and check it out.
Hell yeah. And remember, popcorn and a boysenberry choc top is a minimum requirement for that viewing experience. But yeah, Courtney, that now brings us to the official end of episode 33 of More Than Headlines. I guess we should get it out of here. What do you think?
Yeah, let's get out of here. I've got some anime to watch.
Ooh, yeah. But Sugoi Squad, whether your anime be subbed, dubbed, or still yet to come, enjoy yourself and much love to all the gorgeous waifus, especially fair-haired elf and husbandos out there. Goodbye.
Mata ne.